Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel, and a very warm welcome to all the new subscribers and for all of you who have been with me since the start. Truly, I'm so happy to see so many of you being here, watching these videos, and feeling the inspiration that you need for your journey. So, today we are going to talk about the Galactic Council and the Twin Flame journey. This actually came from one of you in the community who asked me to go deeper into how the Galactic Council connects to us monadic twin flames, and I felt that this is one of the most important teachings we can open right now. So when people hear the words Galactic Council, they often imagine some group of beings sitting in a star chamber far, far away making decisions about Earth. And in one sense, yes, there are high councils that meet across dimensions. But here's the deeper reality: the Galactic Council is not just out there, it's not just a parliament of the stars, it's a governing frequency, it's an oversight field that exists to uphold divine law across timelines, making sure the original blueprint of cosmic consciousness, love, truth, harmony stays intact. So, who makes up the council? Well, it is composed of star elders, ascended masters, galactic architects, lineage keepers from systems like Mintaka, Sirius, Arcturus, Andromeda, and beyond. But don't think of us as politicians of space. We are like guardians, protectors, builders. We hold the codes of divine law. We make sure agreements between star systems are honored, and we watch over the unfolding of planetary timelines. So that's the reason why the Galactic Council in itself is so diverse, and we have a lot of focus on spiritual law, and that's why you always hear me speaking about how one of the biggest laws is never to infringe into another person's personal sovereignty. All right, so that's what the Galactic Council, and it's like an alliance, just like how on Earth you've got alliances between countries like NATO and stuff like that. So it's something like that, but not really like that as well. Like if you look at you know it's something like that. So why this matters for us twin flames, and here's where it gets personal. When two monadic twin flames incarnate on Earth, it is not casual and it's not random. And I always say this in our one-on-one sessions, that union carries too much power, too much consequence for it to just happen by chance. So that's the reason why our meeting with our divine masculine is often overseen and permitted by the Galactic Council. Why? Because our union isn't just about two people falling in love, it's about anchoring divine order back into the earth grid. That's why from the moment you meet your divine masculine, you felt it, that something larger is at work. That's why it's just not about attraction, it's just not about synchronicities, it is orchestration. So the council's function on earth timelines, this is a very crucial one. All right, now the council, we are not here to micromanage your daily life. We are not deciding what job you take or what you eat for breakfast. The role of the Galactic Council is to preserve the integrity of timelines, and that means we watch how powerful unions like monadic twin flames enter, separate, and come back together. And that's the reason why sometimes you may feel like, why is there separation? It's always part of the mission. That's why I always say focus on the mission. Sometimes what looks like a 3D separation is actually pre-planned along with our soul, with the Galactic Council, to kind of bring out a certain mission. So what may look like a separation in the 3D, or you might have a fight with your divine masculine. So the not so good energies will think that, hey, that's good, you're separating. But the reality, it's a higher mission at place. You see, that's the reason why the Galactic Council, it aligns our connection with collective energy cycles as well. Eclipses, retrogrades, and all the major cosmic events. We make sure the growth as a soul match is bigger than the mission of healing planetary grids. And the regulation, and as the Galactic Council, we regulate the timing so that when we do reunite, you can stabilize your third energy without collapse. So that's the reason why, because we are part of the Galactic Council and we're carrying out these missions, it's so important to see it beyond, you see. So why does this matter now? The reason this conversation matters right now is because Earth is at a turning point since May. Timelines are collapsing, new ones are being built, and the Galactic Council is more active than ever before in guiding how unions play out. And often these meetings we meet in the 9th D, 10th D. So that's the reason why sometimes you may feel like you've just attended a meeting. So yeah, often these meetings happen in the 9th and 10th dimension. So your twin flame journey, your heartbreak, your separation, your longing, your reunion, it isn't just a private experience. It's part of a galactic directive. All right, here it's past midnight, so bear with me, guys. So to close part 1, the Galactic Council is not far away, and most of us are part of the Galactic Council. So it's not fantasy either. We are here on a mission, especially as Monadic Twin Flames. We are here to make an impact right here on Earth, in this human body. That's why it's a living field of divine order in our galaxy. And each time every one of us Monadic Twin Flames come into union, we are watched, guided, and timed under the Galactic Council's care. So in part 2, we'll go deeper into why twin flames are directly wired into the Galactic Council and why our love story is inseparable from galactic law. All right. So in part 1, we talked about who and what the Galactic Council is made of, right? Not just beings out there, but a governing field of divine law that oversees the timelines of our galaxy. And now we are going to go into deeper why twin flames, especially us Monadic Twin Flames, are directly connected to the council. Often we are part of the council in key positions as well. All right, that's the reason why, like access to the Akashic records, seeing beyond the records, we're granted those gifts, access, I meant. So, unlike karmic partners or even soulmates, as Monadic Twin Flames, we carry a unique energetic signature. You're not two souls who just happen to resonate with each other. You're one monadic field split into two incarnations, and because of this, the council monitors our connection very closely. Why? Because when we merge, we don't just create love, we create power. We create energy strong enough to shift planetary fields. So every Monadic Twin Flame pair, we kind of like, there's an assignment and approval phase prior to this Earth incarnation. So the Galactic Council doesn't just let any any monadic twin flame couple to come to Earth at any time. We do decide collectively as a council when a particular couple arrives, why you meet, and what larger mission your connection supports. So in some cases, your DM may have gone to Earth first, and so we often get permission from the Galactic Council, and that's why we come in with a team. In some cases, the roles may be reversed as well. The divine feminine, might enter first and the divine masculine will come later. In some cases, we enter Earth together as a couple. So really think about your own story, the timing when you met, the place you met, the way synchronicities lined up. None of them was random. It was orchestration. That's why the deepest wounds, or like example, your divine masculine is like telling you off, in for example, in a public place. It's to create that illusion, the distraction to the not so good energies. Example, he tells you he's never ever going to talk to you again, or he literally blocks you. This is all to show the not so good energies, kind of like diverting the attention from you. Because when monadic twin flames, when we get into union, if we are not in stable union, our energies tend to be visible. So when we're in stable union, we have the ability to hide it, so we can kind of so anything above the fifth dimension, the not so good energies may not be able to perceive or see. So often unstable union, you're in 3, 4, 5, then the not so good energies can see, hey, this couple is coming into union, so it's time to make sure they don't get into union. So sometimes it's intentionally done so that the attention is taken away from the mission. So yeah, that's why stable union is important, because we can mask our union energies. So that's why it's so important to protect our energies always. And many of you know, ever since I started doing public readings and all that, I think since I was born, I've always masked my energies, because that's the safest way to operate, right? So yeah, so I always encourage you guys to do that too. All right, having said that, you see the orchestration. So sometimes that is why some separations can be very 3D, very physical, and very to the face. This is to literally show the not so good energies, hey, you're not going to get into union again. But in actuality, it is rebuilding our higher selves together with the Galactic Council. We are orchestrating a mission aligned union, stable union. So this is why twin flame unions feel so overwhelming, because they are not private life stories, love stories. They are field level events. So when you two come together, you generate what we call the third energy. When we come together with our divine masculine, we generate the third energy. And the third energy is not just yours, it pours into the planetary grid. It feeds Earth with divine codes of union, healing, and truth. And that's why the Galactic Council is so deeply involved. They ensure your merging. We ensure that your merging doesn't destabilize the collective grid, and that our separation phases align with larger planetary cycles. So, signs of the council's hand in our journey. So, you'll often notice things in your connection that feel like divine interference, sudden delays in meetings, synchronicities you couldn't possibly make up, or you may feel like you don't want to see your DM today, but somehow you'll be pushed because such an event has to happen. Even though in your 3D perspective it may look like, hey, I shouldn't have met him, that's why he lashed out at me, but it's meant to happen, you see. So a reunion that lines up perfectly with an eclipse or retrograde, or dreams or downloads that come just when you're about to give up. So again, let me be very clear here. Our role as Galactic Council is not to control your free will. It's not like that. What we do is that our higher selves work hand in hand with the Galactic Council, which is formed by all of us, right? So that's why the guidance in itself. So think about it. You have got, you've got so when we're on Earth, we are still connected to the Galactic Council. So that's the reason why there's a great level of protection as well. So the Galactic Council, they're often guiding the timing, making sure our union aligns with the bigger galactic blueprint. So, to close part two, twin flames, monadic twin flames are directly connected to the Galactic Council because our energy is not just personal, it's galactic. So our love story was scheduled, overseen, and approved because it carries a mission far greater than just being two individuals. So, in part three, we will go deeper into how the council oversees separation and testing phases and why those painful moments are not abandonment but alignment. So, in part one, we uncovered what the Galactic Council really is. Part two, we saw why twin flames are directly connected to the council. And now we are going into one of the most difficult parts of this discourse, why the council allows separation and testing phases. Why does separation happen? So, every one of us divine feminines, we ask this question at some point. If this connection is divine, why would the universe separate us? The truth is, separation is not punishment, it is regulation. The council permits and sometimes enforces separation phases because our field has to be prepared. If you come together too soon, your unhealed wounds, your nervous system overload, your karmic baggage will destabilize the third energy and collapse the mission. And on the other hand, like I said, it is part of the mission itself so that you can kind of like sidetrack the not so good energy. So the purpose of testing phases. So what are testing phases really about? Purging distortion, clearing false beliefs, trauma and attachment, preventing premature merging, stopping you from coming together before the field can stabilize. And thirdly, protecting planetary grids, ensuring your union doesn't pour unstable energy into Earth's collective field. This is why so often separation coincides with, like I said, retrogrades, eclipses, and major cosmic events because as the council, we use cosmic cycles as natural purifiers. So many of you have lived this. You have had the meeting perfectly set up, and suddenly something went wrong. A delay, a disruption, a blocking. That's not rejection, that's orchestration. The council steps in when union is about to happen prematurely or under distortion. So that's why the council might redirect you with synchronicities, dreams, or even physical distance to protect the bond long term. So, the hidden truth about no. This is why sometimes our beloved divine masculines, harsh words, silence, or retreat are not the end. They are often council permitted triggers that push you both into purification. Therefore, our separation is not abandonment, it is alignment. The council is ensuring that when we do reunite, right? When you do reunite, your field can actually hold the sacred frequency without collapse. So, to close the third part, separation is not a mistake and it's not the universe being cruel. It is the council's oversight. Oops. Every delay, every test, every painful pause is timed so that your eventual reunion is unshakable. So that's why in part 4 we are going to look at how you actually interact with the Galactic Council, both consciously through channeling and unconsciously through synchronicities, dreams, and inner nudges. So far we've covered who the council really is, why twin flames are directly connected, and why separation phases are overseen by the Galactic Council. So, we are going to go deeper into something you experience every single day. Even if you don't realize it, how do you interact with the Galactic Council? So, let's start with the obvious. You can consciously connect with the Galactic Council through channeling, meditation, light language, prayer, any other methods, and we all have our ways, all right? So for many of us divine feminines, this comes through visions, downloads, or sudden streams of knowing, downloads, flash forwards. You feel like you're speaking to someone beyond yourself, and you are, and that's conscious contact. So, what is unconscious contact? So, here's the part most people mix up or miss. You interact with the Galactic Council unconsciously all the time. Every time you see repeating angel numbers, that's why in my daily channelings I'll give you a certain code and say that you're being activated for this. See where I'm coming from? So every time you feel deja vu, when you meet your divine masculine, every time you get a nudge to wait, rest, or change direction, or to intentionally create a distortion, or that's why everything happens for a reason. Like, literally, sometimes you may think, why did I send that message to my divine masculine? Why did I turn up at a place that I know he frequents? Why? Because it has to happen. Sometimes it's code exchange. On the outside it might look like you've had a fight together, but actually what is happening is the codes are being exchanged, because in two separate bodies, we both carry codes at a certain time. Due to a galactic mission, the meeting has to happen. Even if our divine masculine is not ready, it has to happen. So, on the outside, it may look like you're a wounded feminine trying to get his attention, you're meeting up with him, but in actuality, codes are being exchanged. That's why this is not random. This is actually council coordination, council communication, and it's how they keep you aligned without overwhelming you with direct vision. So, now, very important here. Usually, as the divine feminine, we channel the council communication more directly. Why? Because our field is often more open to intuitive downloads and psychic sensitivity. Also, because, we are involved, like we are already, like being part of the council, we are already involved in many of these missions. So it's like multi-dimensional level meetings. So, like, example, I consciously have meetings with the Galactic Council. I go up to the ninth D, 10th D. Some of you may do it through your dreams. So, really, the more and more you connect to within, the more and more you'll be aware of the missions, why this happens and why that happens. So, really, we are one. We are one with the Galactic Council most of the time. So, as for divine masculine, on the other hand, he would often receive counsel guidance unconsciously through disruptions, sudden delays, career redirections, or even karmic detours that pull him into lessons he cannot avoid. So let me give you an example. So let's say your divine masculine is suddenly quitting his job, and he wants to retire, but he's still young. And then he says that, he wants to just travel and see the world, or he just wants to be in, like, for example, in like Bali, or in certain parts of the world, and it's part of a mission. You see what the Galactic Council is doing here? The career redirections, and then after like 8-9 months, you would want to return back to work. Or in some cases, you can see, like, he may be taking major life changes, but it's actually the Galactic Council placing him on assignments, and this is part of the mission. So, while as the divine feminines we may hear the message more clearly, our divine masculine often lives it through circumstance. And both are valid forms of contact, and the more aware we are, the more conscious we are, literally. So that's the reason why awareness is key, awareness is good. So, And here's something powerful. When you're having those inner conversations with your divine masculine, the ones where you feel like you're talking to his higher self, often that communication is being facilitated by the Galactic Council. So it's not imagination, it's the Galactic Council making sure that the two of you stay tethered at a soul level even when the 3D looks silent. It's all part of the mission. So, to close part 4, you interact with the Galactic Council far more than you realize through numbers, through dreams, through flash forwards, through soul remembrance, through inner nudges. The Galactic Council, we are always in constant dialogue with you, ensuring your journey stays aligned. So that's why in part 5, the last part, we are going to finish this discourse, and we're going to go into what it means to be a representative of the Galactic Council on Earth. And how, as monadic twin flames, how our union is literally an extension of galactic governance. So you see it this way, right? Like, as monadic twin flames, you often come with a lot of experience, and because Earth is a difficult mission, so the most advanced of us are the ones. Even for us, it can be quite a handful. So anyway, the final part of our discourse on the Galactic Council and the Twin Flame journey. So now we close with perhaps the most important truth. You're not just guided by the Galactic Council, you are representatives of it, embodied here on Earth. So when you and your twin flame incarnate, you just don't come as passive receivers of the Council's direction, you come as active extensions of it. So that's why a union itself is a micro council. The way we navigate our journey, the choices we make, the healing we commit to, the love we embody, all of it represents divine law incarnating in human form. And this is why the stakes feel so high. When you heal, forgive, and unite, you don't just resolve personal wounds, you literally re anchor divine law into the planetary grid. The third energy between you and your DM is not just passion, not just magnetism. It is council code. It is the same architecture that upholds galactic order, now pulsing through your field as a pair. So this explains why our journey feels bigger than us, because it is. We carry a frequency that doesn't just belong to two humans in love. It belongs to the galaxy, the heartbreak, the longing, the test, the separation. All of it is happening under the council's oversight, and our higher selves and multidimensional selves as well, because our bond is too essential to let distort. So what does it mean in practical terms? It means that every time you choose alignment instead of distortion, every time you anchor truth instead of illusion, every time you embody unconditional love even when the 3D looks impossible, we are doing council work on earth. We are upholding divine law in human form. So, to close the entire discourse, see it this way. As the Galactic Council, it's not about control. It's about trust, So see it this way. You're not just watched, you're the living extension of the Galactic Council's oversight, and our union is proof that divine order is alive on this planet. So that's why we make up the Galactic Council. So that's the reason why it's like, I don't want you to ever think like the Galactic Council is doing something. We are the Galactic Council, and we make these choices according to the missions in our journey. So that's why always remember that. And this is why our twin flame journey feels so cosmic, so unbearable, and so sacred all at once. Because it's not just about you, it's about the restoration of divine governance through love. So that's why we make up the Galactic Council. And if you guys are interested to know more about your role in the Galactic Council, I do offer readings that you can check out on my website. And of course, if you need more guidance on your journey, you can book your first time special psychic clairvoyance guidance session with me in through the link provided on the description. So I know this is a lot to take in, and again, you already know. I'm just, reminding you guys of the roles we are playing here on Earth. So, with that, I hope you have enjoyed this discourse, and thanks to one of you who suggested this topic. So, with that, I hope you guys are inspired to find your own truth. And remember the inner teacher. Remember, external teachers, we are here to inspire you to awaken your internal teacher. So, with that, always remember God is within you. Have a direct line with God. Always listen to your higher selves. And with that, I'll see y'all again with another discourse. Love you all and take care. Bye bye.